Hi and welcome to my Vanda place. This space is taken exclusively by Vandas. See how many Vandas there are? And it's a perfect place for them because I have large corner window here, which has sun. In the morning, sun comes from there and goes about midday. Then from midday, sun is coming from out there. So it's southeast to southwest exposure. So there's lots of sun in this spot. And I thought now it was a good time to make an update because today is overcast. Not much sun outside, but that means that we can see vandas a bit better because when sun shines from the window, basically everything comes out very dark. So I have a whole bunch of vandas and my seedlings moved out of the tank because I think they're big enough to be out in the real world. And so I have seedlings here, and this is my Vanda tricolor flask that I deflasked a couple years ago, 3 years ago probably. This is one compote with 3 seedlings, and I also have 3 seedlings kind of mounted there because I thought it will be more compact to have them there. This was really successful deflasking because all of them survived. So at some point I didn't know what to do with them. I gave away a lot and I still have like 6 seedlings left. So I kind of potted them together to save the space. This one here is my Vanda cerulean, a wild form, which is pale blue in color. I bought it from Hangdown Mountain Labs when they came here one day to society meeting. And this one blooms for me every year, but at some point it lost all the roots down to 2 little pieces here and there. And so I didn't know if it will survive, but it did come back with more new roots. See, it's lots of roots now growing. And notice how the leaves are, the shorter leaves, like those leaves were growing. It was continuing growing leaves without roots even, but those leaves are shorter, and this new leaf is much longer because it now has enough roots to support those leaves. So this one is a good plant. It blooms for me. It's easy to bloom, Vanda cerulean. Now this huge plant is MV Tannins that I just got from Crystal Star Nursery. Notice everything is wet now because I just watered them. I use this hose here to just water them all over. See, it's wet, and my windowsill is wet now, but it's summer now, it'll dry fast. I'm past the point when I'm worried about the windowsills in the house. As long as orchids like it, I do it. So this is MV Tannins, and look at those roots. It's growing very nice and fat roots. And there's a keiki growing right there. I don't know what's with this root. It's actually dried up. It was rotting when I received it, but it's dried up now. And the spike that it came with, I think this spike, it did not survive. It dried out, it wilted. So I'm hoping that maybe it will create a new spike. For now, it's growing new leaf. It's still growing this one, and it started the new one. So overall, it's a healthy orchid. I like it. Now there's on the windowsill, I have 2 Vanda denisonianas. This one is original denisoniana that I received at the beginning of spring together with my sanderiana, and it's growing lots of new roots, look. But I do want it to grow a spike, but it doesn't grow spiky, just roots. In general, it's good. And here is the second denisoniana. And I got this one because I was supposed to get Vanda Orchids, but Tropical Gardens made a mistake and they sent me this one. So I have two denisoniana. They did refund me for the mistake. They, like Tropical Gardens, they're really good at taking responsibility for their mistakes. They simply let me keep this Vanda denisoniana and they refunded me for Vanda parrots. So now I have two denisonianas, which I don't mind, actually. I really like this species. And look, they're a little bit different leaves. So I would like to see them both blooming and see how different or how same they are. And so this one is the newest one that I received just a couple weeks ago, I think. And it's already started one new root, so hopefully there will be more. Now there in the corner is orchid that I don't even know why I bought. This is the Vanda Orchids gigantea seedling. And if I was smart, I would think that this plant needs to be gigantic to bloom. And considering how slow it grows, I will never see the blooms in my lifetime. Well, maybe I just leave it as inheritance to my children. Maybe they will see it. I don't know. But I'm keeping it there, but I'm just ignoring it. I just water it when it's dry. And, well, it's just there. I don't expect anything from this plant. Now, in the corner is my Vanda cerulean. I hope it's not the wild form. It's just the cultivated one with darker tessellation that I recently bought from Crystal Star Nursery. It started quite a few new roots, so it's adjusting well, and it's growing me new leaves. You can see all those old leaves are pretty rough looking, but these three, 1, 2, 3, and the new one, they're nice and clean and fresh. Those are grown in here in my care. Now the large Vanda that never bloomed, I do hope it will bloom for me. My other cerulean usually blooms during winter, so I hope this one will too. Now these two hanging vandas are two relatives that I grow from very small seedling from clouds. I bought it from clouds. They both are DRA hybrids, Vanda DRA hybrids. This one is DRA crossed limbata. This one will grow huge because limbata is large Vanda and DRA is not small, so this one should be huge Vanda. And I bought it like this size seedling, very small, so it's pretty awesome to see how large it's grown. But now I want it to bloom. And this spring, that root started there. And when it just appeared, it looked so much like a spike. I was almost dancing around it. But then it became a root, so I was really disappointed. And this one here, the sister or whatever, this is DRA crossed with Insignis, which actually has a name. It's called Nellis Vasti. This one is kind of huge too. Look at those leaves. Also bought at the same time as this one, same size, small seedling from clouds, and it's growing, and I do hope to see the blooms at some point. That would be a greatest achievement, to see orchid that I grew from seedling actually blooming. So I hope this too will make me happy at some point. Here's my Vinca Stylus Gigantea Orange. This plant is very shy to create the roots. Okay, now you can see better. See, there's not that many roots. It started some, few, but not that many. I wish it would grow more roots. In general, it looks healthy. It's probably still too small to bloom. Maybe next year. It needs at least 7 leaves to bloom, so I only have, what, 6. So a couple more leaves and I will be demanding this spike, actually, from this plant. Yeah, I don't put water on the windowsills. When I water, I put them down in a tub, and then like those that are standing on windowsills, they go down to a tub, and then I water them. Now moving forward is my Vanda concolor, and this one is actually growing a spike. Look. This is a species that I also bought from Hengduan Mountain Labs together with my wild cerulean. And when I bought it, it was very small plant. There was only 1, 2, 3, I think 4 leaves, 3 and 4 starting, and very little roots. And normally if it wouldn't be so rare species, I probably wouldn't even take it. But because it was my only opportunity to get this Vanda species, I decided to take a chance. And I'm glad I did, because it did grow me lots of roots, look. Lots of roots, and now there is a spike. And it's been taking pretty long to grow. See, it's long and thin, comparing to this thick spike on red Seedling. That one was pretty long and pretty thin. So we'll see what's gonna happen. I hope for at least a couple blooms on that long spike. Now this huge vandaceous orchid is Iridis lawrenceana. This is actually the reason why my Vanda update, which was supposed to be part 3 of June updates, it is late now. It's already like mid-July. I was waiting for it to arrive from Tropical Gardens, and well, now I have it. It is really huge. There are roots there, but there's no new growing tip roots. So I'm hoping it'll produce me some. But again, this huge orchid, and there is no previous spikes. So that's kind of disappointing. I was hoping that it is previously bloomed orchid. There is a new leaf growing, see? So hopefully it will make me some roots, and hopefully it will bloom at some point. I mean, it is huge, look. But, well, huge orchid, huge Vanda doesn't always mean blooming Vanda. And I have a lot of those that grow pretty large, but there's no blooms. And here up front is my Rachodiana. That's my favorite one. This is a queen of my Vandas. Look at those blooms. They're huge. They're long lasting and they're beautiful. And it blooms for me, you know already. Second time for this season. It bloomed in March. Now is what, July? It's blooming now too. And at the same time it's growing new leaf. And there's a bunch of new roots. So that's probably my best Vanda purchase ever. I love it. And on the left of it, a little, oops. Those flowers are pretty heavy. So this smallish Vanda is Vanda scandens. That's another species that is quite rare. I've never seen it here. Local vendors, they never sell anything like that. I bought it from Tension Gardens a while ago, So it's imported plant, and again there was not much roots at the beginning, but now I think it's getting adjusted. It's growing some roots. There's lots of new tips coming out, and it's growing some leaves too. So I think maybe a couple more years and maybe I'll see the blooms. That's Vanda's candles. And if you check the picture of the blooms on this one, it's really neat. They're unusual. That's why I like to buy species, because they provide more variety, more variations in blooms. These two seedlings are coming to adolescent age, I guess, in vandas. They're not as small seedlings, but they're getting there. They're getting to be larger. This is Vanda foetida. I bought it as a small seedling from Klaus also. It's been growing well. And this one is Vanda luzonica species that I bought from Orchid Floriculturing. Also growing well. Now they are drying out too fast here. As I remove them from tank, I'm thinking maybe of putting some moss in their baskets. So I'll think more and maybe I will do that. And since we're looking at the seedlings, these are, oh, it's too dark there. Let me just put them up maybe to show better. So these two are, this one is Vanda pumila. It's a very, it's actually miniature Vanda, so maybe it is blooming size already, but it never bloomed for me, this particular piece. I had a few pieces mounted on one log at some point, then most of them died, and this piece left. It's still alive, but it's very slow to grow. And this one here is a seedling that I deflasked myself from, this is Vanda Brunea variety Guangzhou. I bought flask from Hengduan Mountain Labs. And I remember in comments somebody asked me to make an update because I posted them deflasked. So somebody asked me to make an update on the seedlings. So I only kept 2 seedlings of that Vanda. Some of them died, some of them I gave away. But Vanda seedlings, they do grow fast, and then there's no room for them. So even when I buy a flask, I usually keep like a couple for myself. So this is one of those that I kept, Vanda Brunea Guangzhou. And just a sec. So this is the second one, Vanda Brunea Guangzhou. So I have 2 seedlings from that flask left. And this one is a seedling of Vanda insignis. And here's my last one, Vandaceous orchid here. This is Trichoglottis philippinensis brachiata. It bloomed for me last year. It has incredible blooms. I like them. I hope it will bloom for me this year. It's growing really fast. Look how tall it is now, how long it is. And there's lots of roots coming out to support it, I guess. It is a bit of pain to water because I need to take it out of that little pot and dunk it into a container with water. Good thing my container is pretty long, so it can accommodate the whole thing. But I need to do it to make sure that it gets enough nutrients, I think, so it can be soaked. I think just little spraying won't give it much. That's just my opinion. So I am soaking it twice a week, just like my other vandas that I rooted. And yeah, I hope for more blooms this year. It's really nice, vandaceous plant. So these are my 2 outcast vandas that I'm trying to make bloom. They get morning sun, and during the day they are shaded by this little tree. This is Vanda tricolor, which I grow from small seedling that I bought like 6 years ago or so. And here it started to grow on the side. I don't know why. I tried to rotate it, but it still wants to grow there. That's weird. I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it, it seems. And it spent here a few weeks already, and there's no spike still. And this is Vanda tessellata, the infamous big Vanda tessellata that never bloomed too. See? It's getting enough sun. There are lots of purple splotches, but still no spike. And it turned out it's pretty safe here. I was afraid that they will be eaten by rabbits or chipmunks, whatever. But no, nobody cares about vandas. So hope one day I see the spikes on them. So that's basically my whole vanda collection. I don't have as many blooms as I would like to have because, well, large part of my collection is seedlings, and also large part of my collection are species that might be harder to bloom than hybrids. At least that's how I explain my unsuccess with them, basically. So maybe at some point I need to rethink what I'm buying and what I'm growing if I want more blooms. But for now I want to try to conquer those that I have, like having that concolor species spike. It's kind of achievement for me. So I hope that maybe when this candence will become stronger, maybe it'll bloom too. We'll see. So thank you for watching and have a nice day.